The Pistons just got brutally embarrassed, so much so that we're recording this with like 4 minutes left in the game. And we started setting it up in the third quarter. Just absolutely embarrassing. Cade Cunningham was a no-show. So in this video, that's what we're going to be talking about. We have special guest Mateen. If you're an OG, he's been on the channel for a while, just not recently. And yeah, we'll talk about that, potentially what the Pistons can do. And yeah, we'll get it from there. Cam, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start it off. It was overall, I'd say, a competitive series. Game 7 was probably the biggest blowout we saw out of any of the games. And I think that, good competitive series, right? We saw two very different teams, one very much about skill, one very much about hard work. And it was the rare exception where skill beat hard work. What is the saying? Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. Not this time. Jalen Duren, I don't know what his payday is going to look like in the offseason, but he had one good game the entire series, and that's pretty bad for a guy that's supposed to be the second best player on the team and the other all-star. Cade himself didn't have a great series. There's a little bit of the collapse lung that maybe factors into that, but you also do have to hold him accountable as the best player on the team. And yeah, the Pistons need to change up that roster for sure. There needs to be a lot more guys that can do the thing where they put the ball in the basket. So,
yeah. And if they replace those guys, because they have a bunch of guys who can put the ball in the basket. They have a Duncan Robinson, a LeVert, who both were actually good in this game 7. The problem is anyone who can put the ball in the basket outside of Cade Cunningham cannot defend a lick. What do you think about this game, about the series between?
I mean, the series I thought as a whole was probably the most competitive series we had in the East, I would say so far. In terms of just every single game, being a close game. There wasn't really any blowouts until this last game here. And that's why we're recording this with the game still running. But the Pistons are a team that fight extremely hard every single game. But something I noticed even you two while the game was on is that they need that secondary scorer or some sort of relief for when Cade Cunningham is getting clamped up or he just doesn't have it going, because Jenkins is cool and all, but like you don't expect him to be a star scorer. He can come off the bench and give you 6-man numbers, and that's just what he's going to do. But they definitely need to look to get some secondary scoring for Cade in the summer, whether that be via trade, there's going to be some guys available, or free agency. As for the Cavs, we have to tip our caps to them. A lot of people said, when they were down in the series that this shit was over. They don't even look good. They shouldn't be here. James Harden, despite all his playoff troubles, he had that 130-point game that kind of willed them into that win. Without that, they wouldn't be in the position they're in. So shout out James Harden for that. Granted, he didn't really have a good game 7 at all. He shot horrible. I don't think he had 10 points. And
No,
that's something you should be doing if you're James Harden. We could talk about the future series for now, but yeah, that's all I want to talk about in terms of Cavs, Pistons.
The Cavs, they had a game plan. They started the game off amazing in that first quarter. It was all Mobley and all Jared Allen. It was, hey, their power forward is 6'7", 6'8". You just attack him. You have a Tim Duncan prototype, definitely not as good, but a prototype. Just attack the paint. Only Duren's in there. And then their backup bigs have just not been that good in Beef Stew, in Paul Reed. Just attack them. And that's exactly what they did. And then in it was both kind of the second and third quarter, Mitchell took over. Mitchell was finally playing like he should be in the playoffs, which is amazing. And then shout out Sam Merrill, 20 points off the bench. Oh, yeah. No misses. Quickest release you'll ever see. Utah State legend. And yeah, I don't even want to. The Cavs, we're going to talk about them in another video, predicting the next round. I thought the Cavs were going to win in 6, they ended up winning in 7. It wasn't really close. The Pistons, I guess Tobias Harris can't be that guy. But what's kind of funny is it took them 7 games to beat the Orlando Magic, the 8-seed Orlando Magic. They had to come back down 3-1. Tobias Harris in almost every single game was putting up 20 points. Tobias Harris, that's not who he is, and he's only getting older. You have to get a legitimate number 2 guy. And we're not the 2015 Hawks. It can't be Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson can't be your second option offensively. They even played him off the bench in this game. Granted, he is playing through an injury, but still. Yeah, you can't expect the dude who I didn't even know his name before the season started in Danis Jenkins to be the second option. And what we could talk about in just a second what the Pistons could do in the offseason, because they can go a lot of different routes. But one thing is for sure, Ausar Thompson has to develop. He has to get better. He is like one of the most impressive defenders in the entire league. He gets one block a game that it just looks so insane and athletic that you just think that. You think, oh, he's one of the best defenders. He's amazing around the rim, but he is offensively nowhere near Amen Thompson, his brother. He can't shoot a jump shot. He he can't shoot a mid-range. I mean, the mid-range just come very, very, and then he can't even drive. His drives don't even look confident. If he drives, it's wide open on the fast break. So we definitely need to see some development there. But the offseason is going to be really interesting. This is a team that I understand they had 60 wins. And even with, Cade Cunningham missing 22, 23 games, however many it was, or maybe a little bit less than that, this is not a 60-win team in the future. This team was built on grit, and they will be game planned for next season, and they need legitimate talent. And I don't know how you get that without making a big trade or without underpaying Jalen Duren, because he is due for a big contract. Luckily for the Pistons, obviously you wanted to win the series, but these playoffs did help them save $10, $15, $20 million in the future. But also, now that this might force the Chicago Bulls to have to overpay, or a Milwaukee Bucks to overpay for Duren. So you might have just lost him, because now you don't want to pay him, but there's another poverty franchise who is willing to. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, do you have any, Cam? What do you think? What is the first move the Pistons should do? They have pick 22 or 23 in the draft, by the way.
I think the first move is to, like Mateen said, do everything you can to acquire that secondary scoring option. I think we talked about it a little bit while the game was on. Austin Reeves is a guy that will be a free agent this summer, and the Pistons definitely have the flexibility to go after a guy like that. Now they would probably have to sign him before giving Duren whatever contract they would give him. Hopefully that is not some sort of major contract, but thinking about what their options at center would look like without Jalen Duren, it does make sense to try to hold on to him. He is valuable to their team. He did just, go to the All-Star game. And in theory, he should continue to get better, right? He's still a young player, and this shouldn't be where he plateaus. So he should, I think somewhere within the 30 to 35 million range would be appropriate given how he performed in the playoffs and the regular season combined. And then you try to go after a guy like Austin Reeves to maybe bolster the offense. I think it is redundant to have Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson, and Kevin Huerter all on the same team. You don't need, any given game, one of those guys just wasn't going to play. So I guess maybe that helps with flexibility there, but you don't need those guys. Let's get another distributor in terms of a playmaker on offense, because I get it. Cade is the point guard, and he averaged almost 10 assists a game this season, but the playoffs really exposed the fact that he is very turnover prone and that his playmaking is really dependent on his scoring, kind of like a guy like Jalen Brunson, even though he's a better playmaker than Jalen Brunson. So I think getting a secondary guy who can find, guys open to the dunker spot like an Ausar Thompson when Cade doesn't have the ball in his hands would really help their offense, and not necessarily rely on Ausar developing, because even though I really want him to, if he is a true twin, we've seen his brother also not develop. So, I already have the genetic evidence to believe that he may not develop. But yeah, I think Austin Reeves, get rid of one of Huerter, Robinson, or LeVert, and it's probably going to be Huerter considering what their playoff rotation look like. Pay Duren, but try not to overpay. I would not pay him $40 million a year, and get another playmaker. I think that's what their offseason needs to look like.
Yeah, I think he's not necessarily a playmaker. One guy they could go after. The Clippers don't have a first-round pick for the next 3 years, by the way. But if the Clippers were trying to get off Kawhi Leonard, or Kawhi did request a trade, this Pistons team would be actually an amazing fit, in my opinion. Cade Cunningham gets a legitimate second option. There's also, Giannis. They could always try and get. What do you think, Mateen?
All those names you guys just said make sense. I think the most realistic scenario for them trying to bolster that scoring, I don't see a world where they keep Duren and bolster the scoring at the same time. Either Duren's gone and they get a scorer, or they sign and trade Duren somewhere, whether that's to get Giannis, whether that's to get Reeves, whether that's to get whoever. I just think, especially with Duren was horrible the entire playoffs. There was not a single moment where Jalen Duren looked like the best big man on the floor.
He got outplayed by Wendell Carter Jr.
That speaks for itself. I get he was an all-star in the regular season, but time and time again we've seen in playoff basketball, people drop, people don't get paid because of their performance in the playoffs, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen with Jalen Duren. He was someone that was probably going to get close to $35-40 million going into the playoffs, and he might have dropped $10 million off that number, just by his performances. And it's not like the job he's doing is like, I don't know where this drastic fall came from, because he was being spoon-fed buckets. Like, it was just Cade would drop off his lobs to him, he would get dunks, he would have easy post-ups, and then he just wouldn't, like, it was the same exact stuff that he was doing in the regular season in the postseason, except he just wasn't making the shot. It was literally Killian Hayes.
I mean,
He was doing everything right, just not making the shots.
the problem really was exactly what you said. Cade was able to spoon feed him in the regular season, but come playoff time, you're playing against a lot, more talented perimeter defenders on the Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
Cade was obviously hitting his jumpers in that series, which is why he averaged 32 points a game, but he was taking a lot of jump shots, meaning he wasn't getting to the basket and penetrating and collapsing the defense, so Duren wasn't getting those easy looks. And then in this series, he's up against Mobley and Jared Allen, who frankly just both looked better than him for the entire series. So, I mean, when it comes right down to it, Duren needs to develop what we saw a little bit from him earlier this season, which was that mid-range. He looked pretty confident taking that in the first half of the season, and then that seemed to disappear when his confidence did. So hopefully he can get that back and integrate that into a part of his game. That way he's not so reliant on Cade to score the ball. You know,
I definitely think what you're saying in terms of like the secondary playmaking, I think they just need a guard, like a combo guard that can pass, like Anthony Simons or Colin Sexton, just someone like, it doesn't have to be a major move even. It doesn't have to be like an Austin Reeves. You can go get Sexton. He will provide you a good 20 minutes off the bench when Cade's not, has it rolling, and he can pass the ball. Sexton's showed he's been a capable scorer in the past. I think Sexton would be a great fit for the team. Or even like Luke Kennard. He just had a really good playoffs. Granted, it wasn't that good against Atlanta.
Back in Detroit.
But, oh my God. Luke Kennard back in Detroit.
He hasn't been in Detroit so long. I almost forgot.
Crispy Flakes is somewhere like his head is steaming.
I don't think Luke Kennard fixes any playmaking issues though.
He's a willing pass. They need dribble penetration to where, I don't know, man. There was also no spacing on that team. I don't, because Duncan Robinson, like, sure, he's a movement shooter, he's gonna catch it, but like, are you really scared of when Duncan Robinson gets the ball and gets downhill?
The problem is, it feels like they just had to kind of design plays to get him open anyway.
Yeah.
He wasn't like you said, he wasn't exactly catching and shooting. He was a movement shooter.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that was the weird part of their offense, is for Cade being the only guy that can really be relied on to get his own bucket consistently. He was so uninvolved in the offense for long stretches of time.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if that has to do with the injury, but it definitely, he seemed worn down, like, which is understandable because he had to carry so much of the load, especially in that first round. So they really need somebody that can actually take that ball handling.
I mean,
away from him.
they had someone that was supposed to be that guy.
Well, yeah, and
And
then
then it didn't matter on Judgment Day. So, like, it is what it is. Like,
Yeah,
that was supposed to be the guy, but Cole Anthony ruined his career.
There's a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
guess.
former Pistons that are actually going to be free agents. We have Chris Middleton. We have Luke Kennard.
He was on.
he started his career on the
Started his career on the Pistons. We have Kelly Olynyk. I'm pretty sure he was on the Pistons.
Kelly Olynyk. Like
Yeah, he used to be on the Pistons. KCP has a $22 million player option. I don't think he'll be a free agent, but
Who gave him that?
there is that. An interesting, CJ McCollum is actually going to be a free agent. And I don't know how confident the Hawks are in re-signing him. That could also happen. The Pistons, I actually forgot Tobias Harris is also a free agent. So the Pistons, without Tobias, without Herter, and without Duren and Javonte Green, whatever, only $133 million spent so far. So I think the regular cap is around like the 180, 190 range. So that's about 40 something million to spend. So, I mean, they have bird rights. They could bring back Tobias and bring back Duren. I don't know how much Tobias is really going to ask for. He might get like 20 million a year, but like only for like 2 years, if I had to guess. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Duren, it's just, man, you made the playoffs last year. You made it this year. Making the playoffs is not the issue anymore. You shouldn't be building your roster around making the playoffs. We have a big enough sample size. It's not like Duren had this one bad series and we can kind of just excuse it because he's young. That was back-to-back. I mean, Cade willed that team in the first round to the second round, and Duren still played bad against, I mean, obviously Jared Allen and Mobley, it's a tough matchup, but when you're that inept offensively, when your entire statistics are cut in half in the playoffs, I don't know what honestly, I think they should rush this. I don't think they have this young core that's just going to get better besides like a Ron Holland. Like how much better can these guys get besides Ron Holland and Ausar Thompson? I don't think that much more. And when you actually do have a couple of these stars, like a Giannis and Kawhi, who could potentially be moved, it looks pretty enticing. You have some first round picks. I'm assuming you at least have this year's pick. I don't remember them ever trading their first rounders. So should they go? What do you guys think? Should they go all in, or should they play play it safer.
I mean, whenever there's a player like Giannis, if Giannis would be willing to go to the Pistons, you kind of have to make a swing for a player like Giannis. As for Kawhi is a little bit older, so that would pretty much be like we're going all in, we're winning now. But I
I
don't.
think are they not like the same age? Am I crazy with that?
Kawhi and Giannis?
Kawhi was
Kawhi's like 34, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. Giannis is 31. So it's a 3-year difference, but
I mean,
given
still,
Kawhi's
it's
injury
just like
history too.
Yeah, Kawhi.
oh Giannis. I thought he was in the 13 draft. Oh, okay.
No, he was
Well,
in the 15.
so yeah,
draft.
they're 3 years apart. Yeah,
So-
which is a pretty big difference.
So I think if you can get Giannis, you definitely do, because then you actually have what could arguably be the 2 best players in the East on the same team. Cade's only 24, so you'd imagine Cade is going to refine his game. Playing next to a guy like Giannis would absolutely make his life so much easier on offense. And defensively, we know what Giannis can do. Other than that, I mean, I do think they have to go all in at this point in time, simply because the East is so weak right now. I mean, there's talk of Giannis even going to the West. So let's say Giannis goes to the West. Cade really should be the best player in the East next year, and the Pistons should capitalize on that because, I mean, winning the finals, that's hard given who's out West, but winning the East is something that should be very attainable for the Pistons in the next few years. And with the potential influx of a superstar or two in this next draft coming into the East, you definitely want to capitalize on it right now.
Yeah, especially because I mean the Celtics didn't. I mean they did look good without Tatum this year, but they're not this scary contender that we thought they were.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the East is kind of open for them, so they should make a move for like someone like Giannis. Granted, you just did say I forgot Boston was even in the East. I'm not gonna lie to you, but Boston's gonna be back.
Hey, Tatum's hearing that he's pissed. Cade's the best player in the East.
I think Cade should be next season.
I think Cade is the best player in the East
right
if
now.
you don't count Giannis. Like, I mean,
it's hard to give it to
It's
Tatum
hard with Tatum
because
because he
of the
just went
injury.
through the
But
injury.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, you could say Cade kind of played through the injury, in a sort of way. Like he did have to kind of rush his injury. recovery.
I'll still give Tatum the respect though. I think Tatum without Giannis is still the best player in the East. So I think Cade still has to earn it next season.
I'll give you that.
You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. The East it's always getting better too. I feel like, who knows, man. LeBron might go back to Cleveland. Who knows? Tatum comes back, he's better.
I mean, the Hawks
are
should
gonna
get
be
better.
dangerous.
Jalen Johnson should get better.
Hornets 3 seed incoming.
Yeah, the Hornets were
The Hor-
dangerous. Like no one knows what that.
Maybe
honestly,
Con Knipple can be the Devin Booker of the East or something. Like,
It'd be a hard ask, but you can always take that jump. Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at these free agents. They could always like build these like medium pieces of like an Andrew Wiggins and like a John Collins, Chris Middleton.
I don't
know.
I don't
think
hate. I don't hate an Andrew Wiggins. It's an improvement over Tobias Harris in my opinion.
I don't know. Tobias kind of just like played crazy.
But he played so bad in the second series. I mean,
He evened out. I mean, came back to what his average play is. So
yeah, and his average play just isn't enough. Like that's the thing. Are you fine losing next year? What are you thinking if you're the Pistons GM? Like I mean, I don't know.
You're
how
thinking you
greedy
want
go.
to try to win the East next year, especially if Giannis goes to the West.
Yeah, so
And
you gotta
so
Kevin Durant to the Pistons.
that would help. It would help a lot.
It would
But-
help a lot.
Who do the Rockets even want? Do they want worse spacing? Because that's all you're going to get
can
in a
get the
trade with the
twins together.
Pistons. Yeah, you get a Sar, and
the twins together. The gang is back.
No,
they might
Sar-
fight each other on the court.
They just run OTE
Like-
hoops again.
Oh, that'd be fine.
That
If they were
works
actually
all
on the
game.
same
That'd actually
team,
be fun.
but I don't think Kevin Durant's leaving. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. What a season though for the Pistons. I'll just go ahead and say it. I mean, no one expected them to do this, except Cam before the season started said the Pistons would make the finals, which was way closer than my prediction. So I'm gonna give the credit to you. But
The thing is, I was wrong on both ends because I also predicted them to be the 4 seed. So, but you know what the funny thing is? I did predict that they would play the Magic and beat them in a playoff series. Because I had the Magic going to the conference finals. So I was as wrong as I was right. I'll just say that much.
Hey, there's always next year for the Magic. Oh, the Magic, yeah, watch out for them, man. They're gonna be so good next year.
Yeah, maybe
with Paul
they can
Banchero
get a real
hoops.
coach, but
But
They're
yeah,
getting Giannis, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
they have. I mean,
I think so.
you trade Franz and a bunch of picks, it could definitely happen. But yeah, what a season for the Pistons. I just think that because the season was so good, I wouldn't settle. I would capitalize. I know sometimes that has definitely backfired. It definitely backfired when my Hawks did it and we traded.
DeJounte Murray, yeah.
Yeah. Which I think that pick ended up being. No, I don't think it ended up being good, but whatever. But yeah, that's all we'll say. Our next video, we're going to be predicting the Cavaliers versus the Knicks matchup. That's gonna be a blast. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, like the video, comment what you think the Pistons should do. I think they should go all in, but you know what? If you want to settle, go ahead and settle. And
This isn't about. All right.
this isn't about basketball. Peace out.